So you're looking for some tips to conquer Jurassic World Evolution 2's challenge mode. Well then, you came to the right place, because while I may not have the greatest production value in the universe, I do have a lot of experience with Tycoon games, and more importantly, I have beat the entirety of challenge mode, well, on hard difficulty, and with 3 out of the 5 maps under par time, and 1 really close to par time, which is pretty impressive. If I say so myself, yeah, whatever. Look, the point is, I have a lot of experience, and I have the stats to back it. I am only not playing on drastic difficulty right now because I am crunching numbers on research cost, dig site cost, synthesis cost, incubation cost on every creature in order to weed out the best creatures so that I'm not wasting my time in playing Jurassic, difficulty. Find the best of the best. Why would I play with anything worse than that? So, with that out of the way, let's just jump right in. I have a bunch of notes here. I have no script. I'm just going to go off of this list of numbers. It was going to be 10, but then I numbered an 11th one, so yeah, that's why it's a little odd. No, 11 tips, whatever. So, number 1, as soon as you start your match, look at your scientist and fire pretty much all of them on the maps that have wild dinosaurs. I say on maps that don't have wild dinosaurs, find everyone who isn't an altruistic salary person and fire them instead. If you have no altruistic scientists at the start of your match, restart your game. Yes, you are relying entirely on RNG to get good stuff, because I'm going to tell you right now that to get your park actually making profit is a lot easier if you aren't paying a scientist very much. A scientist charging you 6,000 is going to make turning a profit a lot easier than the scientist charging you 24,000. And once you actually have money and you have profit, you can afford an actual scientist that's worth something. But when you start the match and you're making no money, you don't have time to waste letting them take away 24,000 every minute. You just don't. Fire everyone except for altruistic salaries, and on UK and Southeast, don't even have Southeast? Yeah, that's the desert one, yes. So UK and Southeast, capture all the dinosaurs first, and then you can hire a scientist. So yeah, there's number 1. Number 2, don't build amenities until you actually have a functioning park. Amenities will lose you money until you actually have a decent park that isn't just Struthiomimus, Notsutoceratops, and Amargasaurus. They are worthless until you actually have a variety of species, or more importantly, carnivores, since carnivores actually do make money, other than, unlike herbivores. That's simple. Just don't build amenities until the time is right. And when the time is right, you'll know, because you're making like 1,000 as soon as you put it down before you've even done any upgrade, nonsense. Number 3, don't build shelters or restrooms until a contract asks you to. Yeah, shelters and restrooms don't even cost that much to build in the first place. But if you could have the AI go, hey, you need to increase your guest comfort, I'll pay you 400k to put down one restroom, you'd be crazy to make a restroom before that option comes available. So, to put it simply, wait until they ask you to make a restroom or shelter, and then make a restroom or shelter and get paid. Make some extra money so you can make some extra dinosaurs. Simple as that. Number 4, small carnivores suck. Don't use small carnivores. Small carnivores are always worth less than large carnivores, and they can't cohabitate for some fucking reason. So, don't bother with small carnivores at all. Just herbivores, large carnivores, and marine reptiles. I'd err caution on using pterosaurs. They aren't the best. But if you want to, I'd probably say they're still more worth it than than a small carnivore, I'm going to be honest with you. It's up to you what you want to do. But I'm telling you, for score, space, and cost, small carnivores are absolute trash. Number 5, during the early game, power down all buildings you are not using. You shouldn't have a power station researched or even put down until you actually have profit and you're actually getting a real scientist. So don't do that. You should be using backup generators and, more importantly, powering down every building you're not using. You're not currently excavating fossils, turn off the expedition center. You're not currently researching anything, turn off the science center. Turn off everything except for your main entrance, your control building, and the one operations building you need. The helicopter and the rangers and all that. I think that's what it's called, the operations building. So yeah, there we go. Because that will save you not only time, because the generators have a limited amount of power, and it slowly drains. It gives you if you hover over, it gives you a number, it tells you how much longer it has left. Turning off buildings, you'll notice it can go from 20 to like an hour. 20 minutes to like an hour. It's crazy. 6. So there are like a whole ton of traits. There's like 10 different traits you can put in the game, but there are 2 that are actually worth your time, and the rest are garbage. Well, not garbage, they're just not worth it. Those traits are humble and long-lived. Humble is, without a doubt, the most powerful trait you can get in the entire game. Give it to every dinosaur you possibly can as soon as you unlock it. The humble trait means that the animals require less territory and less room, which means that you can put more of the same animal in the same enclosure. You want to put 3 Spinosaurus in that cage? Give them the humble trait. There you go. And once you've gotten humble, add long-lived, just to make sure that that creature that's already making you a ton of money and is able to hold more of its own species in the same cage without losing its mind, now lives for a lot longer. Maximize your profits, son. More dinosaurs, more money. Longer lived, more money. Simple as that. It's a simple equation. The rest are fine, but I'd recommend not using them because they're kind of garbage. Number 7, don't go to the same dig site more than once unless absolutely necessary. Like, there are some dig sites that are like, this is the only place you can get this creature, so you have to go twice. But try not to. It's really more of a waste of time for most dig sites. It's just, I mean, I guess, okay. When I say new, I mean when they have new creatures. If you go to a dig site for strictly minus once, don't go again. Wait till something else unlocks on top of it, and then you can go again, because you won't get enough fossils in return for your second visit to really make it worth your while. Now, when I say that, it also combines with number 8, which is 4 building upgrades that you absolutely should have. And if you don't, why? Because they are all tied, I think, to the efficiency upgrades, which are the first you unlock from the little infrastructure tree. Number 1, dig yield. Put it on your expedition center. I mentioned that I want to go to dig sites each once. So, maximize the amount of fossils you find from that one dig in order to decrease the risk that you'll have to go back. Number 2, fossil capacity on your science center. I don't mean that little storage space that holds the fossils. I mean that thing that allows you to extract them. That little hexagonal thing that it has like a certain amount of points you can put into it. There was an upgrade that allows you to unlock all those extra spaces on the side, and if you don't have it, you're making a mistake because it still costs 3 genetics, even if you unlock that full bar. You're getting more bang for your buck, or I guess more DNA for your scientist energy tick. It's a weird way of putting it, but that's what it is. Third, the rest speed upgrade. I know the cost upgrade might be tempting, but trust me, it's not worth it. Get rest speed upgrade for your scientists on your staff centers. It will save you so much time. And with constant storms hitting you every other second, time is a very valuable asset that you cannot afford to waste. Money can come in by the minute. It's fine. You can make hundreds of thousands of dollars in a minute. You can afford that 90K that it costs to rest your scientist, or however much it is on Jurassic difficulty. Who knows? Maybe that'll change when I actually play Jurassic and it's like 300K or something dumb like that. I don't know. But the final upgrade is scientist cost upgrade on your control center. Having a global 10% decrease in your scientist cost, like salary-wise, is a godsend when you're playing on such high difficulties, especially when I was playing Southeast. Like, those scientists were super expensive, and I cannot imagine that Jurassic difficulty will be any different with how much it overcharges for those really, really just basic scientists. So yes, there you go. The 4 upgrades. Dig yield, fossil capacity, rest speed, and scientist cost upgrades. There we go. Now, number 9, this is a very important one. Storm upgrades do not stop power outages from storms on your power stations. I tripped over my words like 7 times there. But yes, so during a sandstorm, when you get hit, storm defense upgrade will not keep your power station on. Just a little, that's not really much of a tip, it's more of a word of advice. Don't rely on them. And also, don't really put storm upgrades on your power stations. Just put enough backup generators around your park that it keeps everything vital on. Because having more power from one power generator is pretty good. It's a really good thing to have. Number 10. This one may seem a little odd, but trust me, it's very valuable. Wider paths. You can unlock them in, I think it's the guest comfort menu, and you have no idea how powerful those are. If you go and watch the end of my Northeast challenge mode stream, you'll see as I upgrade every path in my park to wide and press play, I go from about 4.1 stars to 5 stars near instantly. It's honestly kind of crazy. The paths are not, like, the game doesn't really tell you at all that the paths are a problem. It doesn't tell you, oh, the guests feel crowded or something like that. If it does, I missed it every single time it happened, which would be pretty impressive, you know? But the fact is, it just doesn't seem to display that information to you. Upgrading your paths is a straight, like, star point upgrade. It's honestly amazing. Upgrade all your paths as soon as you can to increase guest comfort to raise that star value of your park. Number 11, and this is the most important one I can give to you. Listen to my words very carefully. Get Tylosaurus. Tylosaurus is single-handedly the best creature I have found in the entire game thus far. I know he's at the top of the list. I haven't even done the numbers on Tylosaurus versus everyone else, but I know he's going to be up there, because here's the truth. Tylosaurus is free to research. Just get your first 3 aquatic creatures, which you probably should already be doing if you're building an aquatic tank. Get 3 aquatic creatures. Step 1 complete. Step 2, you unlock Tylosaurus. And then here comes the big part. Its dig site only costs 640k, which sounds like a lot, but when you consider that T-Rex and Spinosaurus both cost millions on their sites, it becomes a little more, well, that's not so bad. And then you hear the big thing. T-Rex and Spinosaurus only give you around 1,200 points. Like their star value, their appeal, or whatever, and they both take millions. So 1,200 points for dig sites that cost millions. Tylosaurus gives you 1,600 points, 400 more than Spinosaurus or T-Rex, and he only costs 600k to go dig up fossils for. Do I need to say more? Well, here's a little bonus tip about Tylosaurus. You can fit them in a 5 large exhibit for lagoons. Stick 5 lagoons together, give them the humble trait, and you can stick 2 of them in one cage, alongside whatever creature else you put in there, as long as it's not Liopleurodon. But yeah, so there you go. 2 Tylosaurus plus whatever you have in there is probably going to be around 3,500 points. And you find me another creature that's that amazing. That can give you 6,500 points for only a 600k excavation site. You can't. That's the truth. Tylosaurus is amazing. Get yourself a Tylosaurus. Get yourself 2 Tylosaurus. Treat yourself. And then watch that star rating go up an entire star, as that's literally what it's done for me before. Tylosaurus is flat out fantastic. You may think Mosasaur is cool. Mosasaur costs millions and only gives you 2,500. It's only 900 more for millions in research. I'm not saying Mosasaurus is bad. Trust me, get a Mosasaurus too. But focus on Tylosaurus first. Cheaper, easier to make, and is so good. So yeah, that is my 11 tips for Jurassic World Evolution 2's challenge mode as it currently stands. I haven't played Jurassic difficulty. I will. Maybe some of these will change. Like I said, maybe that scientist rest cause will be actually really valuable. I don't know. But so let's just go over them really quickly one more time, just to make sure you remember. Number 1. Fire all non-altruistic scientists at the start of your match if you have to take scientists. If you don't have to take scientists, just fire them all flat out. Number 2, don't build amenities until your park is actually established. Number 3, don't build shelters or restrooms until a contract asks you to. Number 4, don't use small carnivores. Number 5, power down buildings you're not using during the early game. Number 6, choose the humble and long-lived gene every single time. Number 7, don't go to the same dig site more than once unless you absolutely have to. Number 8, dig yield, fossil capacity, rest speed, and scientist cost upgrades. Number 9, storm upgrades are not worthwhile investments on power stations. And number 10, wider paths. And number 11, Tylosaurus. That is how I got under par time on 3 of the challenge modes on hard, and how I got almost par time on Southeast, one of the hardest maps in the game. 11 hours and a little bit extra, and I managed to beat Southeast. So yeah, that's my advice to you. Take it or don't. That's all up to you, my man. I just want to give what I learned out for everyone to see so that you can all have a better chance of defeating these challenges just like I did.